I'm Scott L. Miller. It is the 9th of September 2022. It's Friday, and welcome to my vlog of daily life in Nicaragua. I'm heading up to the Colegio La Salle, or as it's called here, La Salle, and I got some requests from people that, you know, I went to multiple people. I went to high school here, and I haven't seen it in forever, and if you could go up and walk around and show what it looks like now, that'd be great. So I'm heading up there because I didn't have anything particular to show for the day today. I do have some really interesting stuff we're going to talk about after I show the school. So hang around, because the fireworks thing we have to talk about is way more interesting than you could possibly imagine. And Dominica did not believe me when I told this story. So I really need you to stick around and watch this one. Like, I don't normally make a plea for hanging out to watch more of the video. Today, it's earned, right? You really need to stay and watch. So I'm waiting for a little bit of traffic here. Anyway, today is Friday, and mostly normal work day. Not a lot to report during the day. I'm gonna turn you around because, you know, I know I'm handsome and all, but you're sitting there sipping your morning coffee and you want to see a little bit of León, and we're actually getting pretty close to the school. I started recording pretty close, so I'm going to spin it around and show it. We're coming up on the southeast corner near, so the corner against Ruben Dario. All right, so we can kind of see the main road up there a little bit. We're going to pop into a little bit out of the traffic here. So today, mostly a work day. Spent the day in the office, and we have a lot going on at the hotel this weekend. It's a busy weekend at the hotel, and Marcella is working at the hotel now, so she is coming up this evening and spent the whole day trying to get away from the office in Managua so that she could get on the bus and come here, and that was a bit of a hectic day, and she was not able to. It's a little bit warm, so the ice cream people are out, and she wasn't able to get away for a long time, so she didn't manage to get on the bus until very late, and then there was a lot of rain, and so that got delayed. So that made for a very late evening waiting for her to get into town. So I just spent the day doing normal work and getting videos edited because I had to pick her up when she got in. We're coming up on La Salle here on the corner. And this is the school right here with the statue of Ruben Dario. So this is Ruben Dario, the national poet of Nicaragua, often considered roughly the equivalent to William Shakespeare of all of the Spanish-speaking world. I'm going to turn around real quickly because on this opposite corner, this is the Ruben Dario house, which is now a museum. This is the actual house where he grew up here, and you can see where we are. So this street here is Ruben Dario, and this is La Barrio here, the neighborhood that he grew up in, and this is Zaragoza, which obviously he looked at across the street. And you can see the cathedral, the basilica, at the end of the road, and this is the school that we're going to be heading into. And quite often here on the corner are some number of vendors selling food. Now today is not a school day, today is the holiday. This whole week is a holiday because this is the month of the homeland, as September always is. And this week is the week that it is celebrated. So all major institutions, banks and government offices and schools and such are closed for the week, and everyone is out doing activities, and a lot of people going to the beach and so forth. It's hard to see through the fence, so I'm hoping you can see some. There are students. I can see a lot of students moving around, so the school must be in session right now. I'll back up a little bit so you can kind of see the wall. This is quite a large and very active school, and they have this large sports facility in front. So I'm gonna pop up a little bit closer, just hoping you guys can get a good view of what it looks like here. It's very hard to see with the way that they have this set up. I'm also gonna turn around real quickly, just give you a feel for the street. This is a very old part of the city. This is a gorgeous house right here. They got a lot of neat space. There's some shops and different things, coffee shops along the front, and it smells a lot because they're painting the road. All right, we're gonna get a bit of a view as the sidewalk gets low. While I'm showing this, I'm gonna go all the way around the block because, well, I need something to show you guys, so that's what we're gonna do. And So our goal this evening, since she was getting in really late, but I needed to feed her, we were gonna go to El Sisteo and get, this is Papa Jam Pizza. We were gonna get El Sisteo and get fish tacos there, which I was gonna bring back for the kids, because they have not had El Sisteo yet, and I think El Sisteo has probably the best fish tacos I've had in town so far, so they were really looking forward to that. And as we headed out to go to El Sisteo, we ran into this crazy fireworks display, which I'm not going to show now because I'm showing the school and doing the walk around, but we're going to show it at the end. And so we ran into this fireworks display that I'll describe, and then we walked on to El Sisteo, but it started raining while we were doing that, and we ended up getting to El Sisteo at 9 o'clock, and they're supposed to be open until 10:30. I checked everywhere. Their website is gone. It doesn't load anymore. I went to Google. They have their hours listed as going until 10:30, and we got there at 9, and they had already packed up and were putting the tables away. And I'm like, are you really closed? And they're like, yeah, the rain. We didn't stay open. I'm like, what? Why would you do that? It's so early and the hours are unreliable. Like, everyone's out on the square, no one's leaving. Why are you packing up? It was dumb. So they told us that we had to go down to the more lively district where like Barbaro and Sua and those businesses are. You can get a pretty good view of the school actually from here. This is quite a large building, and this gives you a little bit of a feel of what schools are like here in Nicaragua. This is an extreme one. This is a very high-end school, but there's other private schools like this in the city, and they're similar. These really tall buildings that kind of give you a university feel, and then they're basically one-sided. The other side obviously has windows, and they allow a lot of air through the building. So those are very airy, just the wind just goes right through, and all of the moving between classes is done outside on the big balconies and everything. And it's complete. It's probably a bit like you get school in California, but it's nothing like where I grew up in New York, and nothing like Texas for how schools are physically built. So I find it really neat how they do that. They get some of the best views of the city because there are extremely few buildings that tall, especially in this part of the city, at least. But anywhere, I mean, the cathedral obviously is taller, but that is actually about it, the government buildings downtown. So we went on from Sisteo and went down, and Barbaro was open, and they have salmon, so we got dinner there, which was super loud and impossible to hear anybody talking because it's always so loud, which they have really good food generally. They don't have the best availability. That's the place that we tried to get salmon recently and they're out of. And the service is decent, but it's always just so loud. They're like the loudest of the non-clubs in the city, and it's just impossible to talk there. We always use them as the example of places that are just so loud. Okay, so this building, I think, is a house. And then this is obviously the school. I think it's like an auditorium or like a basketball court. I can often hear people in there doing stuff. But this is all part of the school, or at least most of it is part of the school. I'm going past more restaurants and bars over here. So I don't think very many people come to the school from this side. I think this is like a fire exit. I'm also going to show this, because there aren't too many places that you come up in León, because we're a colonial city, as I say all the time. This is a really fancy, new, modern business. I have no idea how they managed to build this. I can only imagine this was always an empty lot and that they did not have to match colonial structure for some reason. But so when you get to build new, you get some pretty nice looking places. When you get colonial, you've got to work with what you have, obviously, which can sometimes be a lot of challenge. Now, as we're coming along the school, I also need to point out that this white building right here is the La Colonia. This is our local grocery store. So that's where we are. We're very close. This isn't a spot that we come to all the time, and we're always walking around the Colegio here, which is a high school. And this is like the garden space of the school here. And then they have this one other building that's quite tall. You can see over there. I guess that's actually the tall building we saw before. It's sort of in the middle of the block, not in the back side of the block. So they have an entire open space behind it, which is probably where they do like outdoor eating and stuff like that. and then all the sports are in the front. So it's a pretty nice use of the space, and it does a good job of capturing the air. And then as we come along La Colonia here, this is all the parking, and you can see all the food vendors who sell right out in front, because they get both of the crowd coming out of the grocery store and all of the students, which are a pretty captive audience for getting snacks during the day. Now, this is the main part of the Colegio here. This is where the main entrance is and all of that. Give a bit of a look into, this is actually beautiful gardens along here. So this is where, if you were coming, you would come along to one of these entrances. And we walk this way all the time. This is a really nice tree-lined path. It's beautiful, and if you're coming for the sports, this is where the entrance is that all the parents come to and all the students come and go as they're coming to or leaving school. It is also where the security booth is. That's not what this is. That's the administration. But right over here, this little blue, so here you can really see the schoolyard here. This is way fancier than we had when I was in school. This is the security booth. So at night, this whole area is really safe because there's constant security 24/7 because of the school grounds. So that makes for a nice spot for walking at night. I picked a very busy time to be coming by. It kind of worked out well. All right, so that is the school. We are back to the corner that we started at. That is a concessions and refreshment stand here. That's what this is. So everybody's there buying food. Everybody's waving in case you didn't see. And we have a city bus coming by. And we are going to talk fireworks because that is the time that it is. All right. So this is one of the funniest things that's ever happened to us while we're in Nicaragua. And apparently this is a normal thing. And I described this to Dominica and she didn't believe it, but I had a video and she's like, once she saw the video, she's like, this is crazier than you were explaining. I didn't believe you. How could this be like this? So this is what we found. We walked out of the house and we heard music start playing, and immediately children started streaming out of all the houses in the neighborhood and running towards the church. It was as if the Pied Piper of Hamelin had come back to life and appeared in Laborio and was playing at the church. And these kids are just running, and we're like, what is going on? And we get to the church, and these kids are congregating in the front. And these two adults come out, and the one has this big wooden box that kind of, buenas tardes, that kind of gives you an affectation of a bowl. And so like a really, really rudimentary wooden bowl. And he puts this big thing on his head and holds it. And the other guy screams for us to get away because it's dangerous. But all these kids are swarming in. How dangerous can it be? There's a bunch of kids swarming in and they're about to light something on fire. And he lights this guy on fire, and the whole top of it lights up and starts sparklers and stuff. There's fire and things streaming off. It's like sparklers and morning glory kind of things, kind of just going on all over the place. So this guy's wearing a head full of minor fireworks and starts running around, and there's smoke pouring off of it, and these kids are running around behind it. And you're like, what the heck is going on? And as he's doing this, all of a sudden it starts firing fireworks out. And apparently this is a game where a crazy guy wears a bunch of fireworks on his head, and children try to get really close to him, and the fireworks fire off randomly, and the goal is not to get hit in the face by fireworks that are going off. And it's absolutely nuts. It is so dangerous. And everybody's getting hit with fireworks. You can see kids get just hit in the chest, hit in the leg, things going off in front of them. You could lose an eye so easily. It is nuts. I can't believe how crazy it was. I had some fly at me. It didn't get too close. It was enough that I was jumping, but mostly because I'm skittish of getting hit by fireworks. But it was It was insane, and this just went on, and it created this billowing cloud of smoke, and the entire church was covered in the smoke from this. It just kept going. It was several minutes of this craziness. Could not believe it. No wonder they told us to get away. Seriously dangerous. It was a great way to get hurt, and we were just laughing. We're like, we couldn't believe it, right? And Marcella said, yeah, this is the thing they do. It's really dangerous, but they really enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. I was like, what did I just witness? So that was our day here in Nicaragua. Always something new and exciting. Thanks for joining me. Like and subscribe. Comments below. Have you ever chased people around with fireworks randomly blowing up from your head? I want to know. I want to know more about this. If someone knows what this tradition is, I definitely want to find out more about it, because it's some crazy stuff. That is the Red Cross parade going by in front of me. They lost someone, and so they're doing a memorial parade. Like and subscribe, and if you want to sponsor me, check the Buy Me a Coffee link down below. Really appreciate all the support I'm getting from you guys. All the love from this channel is absolutely fantastic. I will see all of you tomorrow.